Hello, Charleston, and welcome to this week's edition of Navigate Your Wealth, brought to you by the team of Compass Financial, based right here in Charleston. I'm your host, Kristen Oakley, and joining me in the studio, we have the CEO, 𝗂𝗀 and President Samantha Irish. We're going to be talking about one of the most important but most overlooked parts of planning for your retirement, of navigating your wealth. And that is, of course, estate planning. So stay with us. Karen and Sam, I'm excited for you to unpack all of this for our viewers today. How are you this week?
We are good. Thank you so much.
Good. Well, always lovely to see you. And I have to admit that when we think of estate planning, I think a lot of folks, it's not always the most fun thing to think about or the fun thing to talk about, but it is so critical. It is so necessary. And so I'm excited for you to shed a different perspective, a different light on this, so that we can help all of you watching at home navigate this important piece of your retirement planning successfully. I know that in my work as a financial educator, I've traveled nationwide, and a lot of folks have a huge misconception about estate planning. At the top of that list being that they think estate plans are only for the wealthy, but you believe, and I do as well, that every single person should have an estate plan. Why is that?
Yes. Absolutely, because you've worked hard for everything that you've accumulated, and I hope that you love your family. And when you're gone without a proper estate plan, you have left a virtual mess. And the reason it's a mess is because the only way you can get your assets transferred to those that you love is to have you sign the document transferring that over. And last time I checked, it's really hard to get a dead person to sign that piece of paper.
Yes.
Okay. So that is a really rotten situation to be in. And the other problem is, without a proper estate plan, you're virtually leaving the decision of who's going to get what to the courts. So why wouldn't you want to? I know it's a morbid conversation. Nobody wants to talk about mortality. Nobody wants to talk about dying. Sometimes they can't decide who they're going to give it to. But the good news is all of these plans can be updated and changed. You know, I have a story years ago. I was at a function and a woman asked me, "Honey, what do you do?" And first thing that came to my mind is, well, one of the most fun things I do is put the IRS to the back of the receiving line and bring the families to the front of the receiving line. She jumped out of her chair, grabbed me by the hand, pulled me to the other room where her husband was having a conversation with two other couples and said, Eric, you have to listen to what Karen just said. Tell him what you just said. Tell him what you just said. So I repeated what I said. And he reached into his wallet, pulled out a business card and said, "Please call me." Well, as it turns out, his mom and dad had both died in the year before, actually 2 years before. They died 3 weeks apart from one another, which was really sad. But what was even sadder is that they had not done a proper estate plan. So in that, you know, you lose the first one and then you lose the second one. They spent 2 years in probate and trying to untangle,
right?
That's the word I'm looking for. Untangle the mess. And so the first thing that this couple said is, you have to help us put this in proper order because we don't want this to happen to our children.
Absolutely. You know, and I hear that a lot. I think a lot of times folks don't think about it until they've had to deal with a mess that's been left in their lap. Then all of a sudden they're motivated to handle it. But God forbid, a tragedy can happen at any point along the way. This is not just something for people who are older. This is for every single person who's living and breathing. And yet so many people avoid it. You know, we already talked about it's because it's not always the most fun thing to think about. But what are some of the other reasons that you find folks just haven't engaged in the proper estate planning process?
You know, a lot of people come to us, and when we are talking with them about if they have an estate plan, they say, you know, we just haven't been able to decide, you know, who will be the guardian of our children. So it just feels really complicated. I know that that sounds silly, but that is a huge roadblock for so many individuals. Attorneys that we work with will say, you know, when they first proposed the, trust, the client couldn't decide. 18 years later, the client said, okay, I'm ready to build my trust. And the attorney says, what changed? Well, the kids are 18 now, so it doesn't really matter. Look, don't let that be the thing that stops you. As Mom said, when designed properly, you can update it and change a trust so that you are constantly in control. Now, a second reason that a lot of people don't do a trust is because of the cost. A lot of attorneys that build trusts and build estate plans are spending a lot of time and energy, and they want to be compensated for that, and we think that they should be.
Right.
But there are some basic elements that don't necessarily need an in-depth review, and we can do it at a lower cost.
You know, years ago, I used to hold seminars on estate planning, and this was back in California, and I had a law firm that worked with us, and for a single person, they would charge $800 for the trust, and for a married couple, they'd charge $1,000, and so clients were doing it. That was a reasonable amount of money. Now, really, you know, 20 years forward, you know, that's pretty cheap. But here's the thing, you can't get a trust today in Charleston for under $3,000, $4,000, $5,000.
Wow.
And what I found is the more assets they have, the more the law firm or attorney feels like they have to charge. And I have a real problem with that. And because it is such an issue, and because we are so passionate that every single person, no matter what your age or economic status, should have an estate plan, that we went out and we sought a partnership with a company called Legacy Lock. And we can now offer to our clients a complete trust package through Legacy Lock. Included in that package are so many things, but the price is $1,495. So that's a lot less than the $3,000 and $5,000.
Yes.
But we have a special for you folks. If you call in today, if you could put that special up, if you call in today, we're going to offer you a $500 discount for calling and getting your name on our list. We will meet with you, we'll talk you through it, and if a trust is in, you know, the right thing for you to do, and I'm guessing it would be, your price is $995. So for under $1,000, we're going to give you the opportunity to have the whole package.
I love that you are offering this, because I think right there that eliminates a lot of the obstacles of the overwhelm. Who do I talk to? How do I know it's going to be, you know, and I can trust who I'm working with? This can all get done in one fell swoop, and I love that you've partnered and offered this amazing discount. What a blessing.
It truly is, and I think that that's because for us, we're so passionate. It would be almost wrong if we said you have to have it, but now there's a roadblock to it.
Right.
We're saying you need to have it, and we want to make sure that it is accessible. Listen, if you want to be in control, if you want to make sure that you know exactly where your assets are going, we want to give you this offer. We're going to dig in and tell you exactly what is included in that, but don't wait. Pick up the phone now and call to get your complimentary retirement roadmap, which, when we meet with you, we can also include your Legacy Lock plan.
Sam, Karen, thank you so much. I know we have a lot more important things to get into with this conversation, but what a way to kick off today's show. Again, don't wait. We encourage you. Karen and Sam are really busy, and there's limited amount of availability on their calendar, so don't wait. Pick up the phone, call this number, 855-348-3073, to schedule your time to meet with them to receive not only your complimentary retirement roadmap, but if you need help getting your estate affairs in order, you can take advantage of that amazing discount as well. If you'd rather not talk to someone right now, but you do have your smartphone handy, don't worry, we've got you covered there too. Simply pull it out. If you open up that camera app, you can point, click, and scan that QR code that you see there down in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. That will take you over to a landing page, ask you a few short, simple questions, and then a member of the team from Compass Financial will reach out to connect with you to schedule your complimentary visit that way as well. We have a lot more to get into regarding this important conversation of estate planning. Stay with us.